Hey guys, John here. In today's video, we're going to have some fun and compare the 15-watt EVH 5153 LBX version 1 to the original 5153 6L6 100-watt Ivory edition. So again, this is a 15-watt lunchbox amplifier with EL84 tubes in the power section. And this is a 100-watt behemoth with 6L6 tubes in the power section. It's going to be interesting to see how they compare. So join me and let's have some fun here. Now, some quick information about these amplifiers. This is a 2-channel amplifier. It has the red and the blue channels, so it doesn't really do clean tones. It does all the gain tones. It does have a resonance pot on the back, which is cool because this one does not, okay? This is a 3-channel amplifier with a green channel, clean and crunch channel, blue and red. So these 2 channels are the ones that we're going to compare to this amplifier. Today, this amplifier has 3 presence controls, but again, no resonance control on the back. And obviously this one will have less headroom than the 100-watt amplifier, but are they voiced the same or do they sound different? Let's find out. In terms of the signal chain, I am using my Balaguer Espada 2024 with the Hypernova pickups. Love this guitar. That is going into my pedal board for the noise gate and the tuner. That is going into the KHE Audio Electronics amp cab selector, which I'm using to switch between the amplifiers. That is going into my Grossmann Fatbox 1x12, in which I've loaded up my trusty Celestion Vintage 30. All right. Now, spoiler, that intro riff that you just heard was played on the LBX. So the second slot over here is indeed the LBX amplifier on the red channel. With the EQ at noon, gain at around 1 o'clock, presence at 1:30. And on the back for the resonance, I have it set to 2 o'clock or 2:30 or so. So let's take a listen again to how this little amplifier sounds. So it really has that tight, articulate EVH high gain tone that we all know and love so well from these amplifiers. I really like the red channels on these amplifiers. I'm just a sucker for a good high gain tone, okay? Now I will note that I am playing on low levels, so the volume controls, they seem all the way off, but they're not off, obviously, as you can hear. This is just like a good living room level. It's an ISO cab, so I can go a little bit louder than you might want to go in a bedroom or something, but I'm not going to crank these amplifiers up all the way. This is just about the tonal difference, not in terms of the loudness. Of course, you're going to get more loudness and more headroom with a 100-watt amplifier. Just wanted to get that out of the way. So I have the big one set to some settings that I liked with this amplifier when I did the review. The EQ over here is just set to the middle. Again, I'm going to do a riff on this one, and then I'm going to switch to the 100-watt version. The EQ settings are a little bit different, as you can see. So I've raised the lows a bit, cut the mids a bit, and raised the highs up a bit as well. And the presence is up higher as well on the big one. So again, starting with the LBX. And then the 100-watt amp. Switching back. The levels aren't exactly identical. Let me try to match the levels a little bit more closely. As you can hear, hopefully, if you're listening on good monitors, they're voiced quite differently. The little guy at these levels has a really nice oomph in the low end, whereas the big one is much more mid-focused. More of a lead amplifier, if you will. So again, this is the LBX. 100 watt. Now, of course, the big one does not have that resonance control, so you can't fine-tune the low end. You can't add more thump. Of course, we could add some more lows with the low control. That makes the low end a bit more chunky, sure. The LBX, the resonance or the low end thump sits kind of in a different frequency area, I feel. And I feel like if I raise the lows in the preamp too much, the sound gets a little bit too tubby for my taste. So it's a shame that this one does not have that resonance control, but what are you gonna do, right? The stealth variants of the 100 watt and all the 50 watt variants do have that resonance control, so that is important to note. This is the only EVH iteration of the 5153 that does not have that resonance control. Just for fun, what we can do, just so you can see how different the pots are voiced, so to speak. So let's put the EQ to noon, including the presence control. Let's do the same for the little guy and put gain at noon as well. Starting with the 100 watt. LBX. Back to the 100 watts. So there's a pretty massive difference in terms of how the EQ is affecting the tone. With these 100 watt versions of the EVH, you're going to have to push the presence further to get the same level of brightness as with the smaller heads at noon. Okay. Real quick, we can see what the presence control taper does on the little guy. So let's switch to the LBX. This sounds very pleasing immediately, and this one just sounds kind of dull and dark with the default settings. But let's mess with the presence control real quick. So yeah, there's really wide range on that control. Let's bump it up to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And you know what? Let's try the resonance control as well. Let me start at 9 o'clock, okay? That's going to sound pretty thin, if you will. Let's bump it up to 12-ish. Let's go to all the way. Let's crank it up all the way. That does not sound bad at all. But let's go back to, let's say, 3 o'clock on the little guy, okay? Let's bump up the gain to 1 o'clock-ish. So yeah, this is a very pleasing, very chuggy, and quite balanced sound with the EQ in the middle. Let's see how close we can get sort of to that balance with the big boy by tweaking the EQ a little bit. I'm going to start with the little guy, then switch to the 100 watt, and then mess with the EQ, you know, raise the presence and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's dark. Let's bump up the presence control. Let's see if we're in the same ballpark in terms of brightness. That's okay. Maybe a little bit more. So the little guy is much more scooped and massive sounding, which is kind of ironic, right? Whereas this one still is much warmer, much more mid-focused and kind of blanketed still. So we can try messing with the EQ to get it to sound a little bit more scooped, a bit more open. Again, scoop the mids. Bump the lows a little bit as well. Let's bump up the gain as well. Man, the little guy just sounds more massive, at least what I'm hearing right now on my setup, which is through my studio monitors on a pretty good level. So I'm hearing the mic'd up ISO cap through my monitors. That's how I always listen when I do these videos for the best results. So I'm hearing what you guys are hearing basically. But yeah, there's something really pleasing about this guy. It sounds great on lower levels, but it has a more scooped sound by default, more chunky low end, right? So again, going to the LBX. $100 watts. So these amps really benefit from having a resonance control so that you can dial in that huge chunkiness. And you know, the fact that this one lacks that does make it less flexible. I think it sounds great, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely less metal by default than this little guy, which is funny, you know. Let's see if I can make them sound a bit closer. So, first, let's start with the 100 watt and dial it in a little bit more. Let's add a little bit of presence. Add a bit of lows, add a little bit of gain, cut some more mids. LBX. $100 watts. It throws me off a little bit in terms of how the loudness feels because this one is so mid-humpy and mid-focused. It sounds a little bit louder, but the low end and stuff is a bit louder on this one. But I can try to compensate by raising the volume of the little guy just a little bit. I have to be quite careful because these volume controls can be a little bit touchy, especially at the first, 10% or so. Let's lower the resonance on the little guy a little bit. Now I'm at 1 o'clock or so, starting with the 100 watts. LBX. We can bump the mids a little bit, lower the presence a touch, maybe lower some highs. Yeah, they still don't sound identical, and I don't think that you can make them sound identical. They're just voiced pretty differently in terms of the EQ response. Maybe the gain stages are identical, but just the way that the EQ is shaped and everything, and the lack of the depth control or resonance control makes it kind of impossible to make them sound the same, which is interesting. I like them both so far, at least on the red channel, but this one is just so meaty sounding for that high gain chug. LBX. So I dialed it in so that it sounds a bit closer to the big guy, but I do prefer, I prefer to have it dialed in how I like it. So with resonance at 230, 2 o'clock-ish. Back to the 100 watt. Let's try bumping up the low on the big boy once again, just to see if we can add that chunk in a nice way. Let's add a little bit more gain even, and a little bit more highs as well. Back to the LBX. Back to the 100 watt. LBX. Yeah, so I added a nice amount of thump in the big boy by just adding some lows. Sometimes our heads work in a way that we find it difficult to crank EQ controls further than noon-ish. But as you hear, it can make a nice difference. Let's go all the way. Oh yeah, it's a bit too much, obviously. Let's see how that sounds on the little guy bumping the low end. Yeah, that's like too much. 1 o'clock. $100 watt. Yeah, so final conclusion in regards to the red channel. The little guy just has a really full and rich low end, and the big boy has a more mid-focused sound, very tight and chunky. I think that the feel is a little bit more squishy on the 100 watt, funny enough, because a lot of people, yeah, EL84 suck because they sound so squishy. Sure, if you crank them up past the headroom of the power tubes, it's going to compress, it's going to saturate, it's going to darken the amplifier. But right now, that's not really happening because we're playing on low to moderate levels. So, you know, for recording, for practice, and everything that doesn't require a lot of headroom, these are really nice, man. Really chunky. And of course, it's the big boy. It has all the knobs. It has all the headroom. There's nothing wrong with that, but then when you switch to the LBX, the low-end resonance and chug is just really pleasing on that one. So that's funny. All right, let's go to the blue channel. I'm gonna have to dial in the levels a little bit to get equal loudness. So this version of the LBX doesn't have the dual concentric controls. So if you're going to switch between the two channels, you're going to get a difference in loudness. Let me demonstrate that. That's not ideal. So this is the blue channel on the LBX. So when you switch to red, the level is just a little bit lower. It's not ideal, okay? I think the Stealth LBX has a clean channel and then the red channel, and the LBX2 only has the green and blue channels. So you're gonna have to make some choices there, you know, in regards to what sort of channels you want on your LBX. This one is definitely the least ideal in terms of dialing in the levels of both channels to work together. It's more of a choose a channel and go type of amplifier, all right? And for recording, that's fine. But for playing live, that's far from ideal. Also, the lack of headroom just might not work for you in a live setting. So, blue channel on the big boy. I have gain cranked up all the way because it's not a super gainy blue channel. Similar settings to the red channel. Low bumped up a little bit, mids bumped up a little bit. Presence pretty high. So this is the 100 watt amplifier. LBX. Let's do some chuggage and see how the gain level varies. Yeah, so blue on the LBX has more gain on tap. That's a lot of gain for a blue channel. So again, gain cranked on the LBX, gain cranked on the 100 watt. Yeah, much more gain on tap on the blue channel on the LBX for sure. That is too much. So let's try to match the gain levels. Lower the gain a little bit. So this one sounds a bit more smooth on the blue channel. This one definitely is a bit more airy and open with the current settings. So let's add some presence on the little guy. That did make the amp a little bit louder. Let's compensate. That's the LBX. That's the big boy, back to the LBX. So this one is a bit more modern sounding, once again, a bit more hairy, a bit more scooped. But the big boy does have its charm. I like it a lot. Back to the LBX. Let's change the EQ settings to match this one a bit closer. Back to the 100 watt. So I think that the blue channel definitely is a bit more classic and sounds a bit better on the 100 watt for sure. For the high gain, really chuggy metal rhythms for lower levels, let's say, where you're less dependent on the headroom, this one sounds more modern. This one sounds closer to the 50 watt heads and perhaps to the stealth ones as well, for sure, because those are a bit more gained out, a bit more modern, a bit more scooped and everything. This one just sounds a bit more classic overall, which works really well for the blue channel. But this one just has a ton of gain on tap and is a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which one would you get if you were in a position to choose, and why? Is it important to have a lot of headroom, or do you want something compact, you know, for which it doesn't really matter what sort of levels you're using? I'm really interested. So stay tuned for more EVH content on the channel soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you're interested in one of these amplifiers, check out my affiliate links for Thomann and Sweetwater, as that really helps the channel out. Or check out my website, sonicdrivestudio.com, for digital products like IR packs, capture packs, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Cheers.